Have you ever been curious about starting a yoga practice from home, but weren't sure where to get started? Or maybe really what yoga is? That's what this series aims to answer. How to get started practicing yoga at home. We'll cover foundations of yoga as well as signs of progress along the way. In this video, we're talking about where to get started, how to get started, and what you need. When I first started doing yoga, I really didn't want anybody to see me. I was a little embarrassed. Yoga's a little woo-woo, and nobody I knew was practicing yoga. So I was unsure about how that would be received. So I was a little secretive about it, honestly. But the more I did it and felt the benefits, the more it didn't really matter if people saw me practicing yoga. I was doing something that they weren't. It was like I was in on a secret that nobody else knew. And so I was proud to practice my yoga. I remember the first time I practiced yoga in front of my grandfather, who had no experience to yoga in his lifetime. He was so curious about it. He teased me a little bit, but it wasn't a tease like he was poking fun, but this like wonder. He called it yogurt. And I think that's funny today because yogurt sounds a lot like yoga art as one word. And it's kind of cute because yoga is my art. And that's what I want to share with you is how over 10 years ago, I started my home practice not knowing what I was doing, had no clue, and how it infiltrated my mind and body with benefit. Well, I can imagine if you haven't practiced yoga before, or maybe you have and you're coming back to it after a long time, but that those first few times are going to feel awkward. Everything new does. Everything new is uncomfortable at first, and yoga is really no different. The more you do it, the more you're willing to show up, the less awkward it will feel. Your body will create a memory of arriving and showing up, and it will be a self care ritual, not just a self care practice or something you do like taking a bath or momentarily helps you feel better or like you're taking care of yourself, but a self care ritual that is something you are proud to show up to. It's something that you protect because it creates the lasting benefits that you have been looking for your whole life. And I'm not over promising because the truth is, yoga asks for our attention and nothing else. We can show up however we are. It meets us where we are, but it does ask us to show up, to be consistent. You don't need a lot of space to practice yoga. A yoga mat is about all the space you need. If you've practiced with me on YouTube before, you might have noticed I'm about 5 inches from the wall behind me. I don't have a lot of space, and I didn't need it. You can still work within your own body because that's what yoga is. It's a work in. We'll talk about that in a moment. But it's a work in, so you can do this all within your own body space. A yoga mat is helpful. It provides cushion for your joints and your body, but primarily it provides an anti-slip surface. So you'll want a sticky mat, and it doesn't have to be extremely sticky, depending on what you want and the textures that your body and skin likes is what you'd want to look for. But really any surface could do. You could even just use a towel. So if you don't have a yoga mat, don't let that prevent you from getting started today. Just use a towel or a rug or something else. The yogis of 5,000 years ago, they didn't have a yoga mat or yoga blocks, a strap or a blanket. They might have had a blanket, but perhaps they weren't using it in their yoga practice. I don't really know. But the point is that you don't need anything to get started. You could make a small investment in a mat and some blocks or get those along the way. In the series, I'll talk about props and how you can use alternative things around the house as your prop in your practice. You don't need a lot of space, about enough space for a yoga mat. So you'll want to find a corner in your house, your apartment, in your space, your room, or maybe it's behind a couch. But find somewhere you can dedicate to your yoga space. It doesn't have to be your permanent yoga space. It doesn't have to be the yoga space that you're going to return to forever and ever. But just for now, to get started, pick one spot. When we return to this spot, each time we practice, we are building an energy in this space. And what's great about building that energy is as you return, you're able to drop in, you're able to settle into that yoga mindset or the attention on yoga or meditation quicker because your body again creates this memory. It knows what to do. And that just takes time and again, consistency. So you don't need a lot of space. You don't need a lot of equipment. But what you do need is the mindset for consistency, the mindset to arrive and to try something new and to know that it won't maybe be comfortable at first and that it will take some time to settle into this new ritual that you're adding to your life. You'll soon learn that yoga is really an unlearning, it's an undoing. We can show up to our mat, and again, as we are, it meets us where we are, and start to feel the changes within our body. So, if you're showing up with pain or emotions, that is going to be included in your yoga practice. And yoga helps to remove those residues. Thoughts and emotions are energy. And if we're not discharging that energy, if we're not digesting and assimilating the energy, then we're storing it. And if we're storing energy, that can show up as anxiety or tension, can be chronic pain. Our body is an extremely intelligent being and it knows how to do this all on its own. When we come to our yoga practice, it is the process of unwinding these residues from stored energy from the years past. It also helps us to discharge that energy in real time. So, if you've had a stressful day, coming to your yoga mat will help you process that energy or those emotions, the experiences right there in real time so that you're not storing and it's preventing the future pain or the future tension, the future anxiety, or the future dis-ease. So, yoga practice is really the ultimate self care because it's helping you to reduce that which is no longer needed. It's an undoing and an unlearning. And the only way that I can really impart this on you is for you to try it and feel it within your own body. I have yoga practices already listed on YouTube, so you don't have to wait for the next video, the next how to get started. I hope to see you on your mat soon. Thanks for being here with me.